Welcome to our podcast. This is OOYE, Out of Your Element. My name is Renata Espinoza. I am welcoming everybody, all my listeners. Yay! And I have some people who joined our team. OOYE, we're so glad. And they're going to be introducing yourself. First, I am Renata Espinoza. Like I said, I am 52 years old. I am an educator, and my sign is Cancer.
Ooh, hello, my name's Emily. I'm 20 years old. I'm a current college student trying to finish my AA, and my horoscope sign is a Leo, so yeah.
Leo. Go ahead.
All right. I'm Jamie. I'm 17 years old. I'm a high school senior, and I'm a Sagittarius.
Ooh, senior.
I'm Victoria. I'm 20 years old, and I'm currently working on getting my BA right now, and my sign's a Capricorn.
So you have all different realms in here and ages, and really our topic today is about voting, and I'll just start off with it. Well, I've been voting since I turned 18, 52. You guys do the math. I'm not doing that for you. But I always was staying in line. I always stayed in line until I think I was turned 40, when it starts saying like you can do
Mail it.
Yeah, mail in absentee votes or mail it in. I always mail it in, and I always had to check the computer to make sure that my vote counted. And I know this is first time for some of you voting, right? Who's going to be the first time voting?
Me and Victoria.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh! And so how does it? I mean, how do you feel?
I mean, I feel like pretty empowered because like the first election, like I kind of felt voiceless because we weren't able to vote yet because we were 16. We're both the same age, so we were both 16.
Yeah.
But now I feel like this is gonna be really like changing, like a game changer.
We should
for
get
my
like
age,
we
so.
should get like Victoria and Emily a birthday, like a cake that says "Happy Voting." I mean,
Yeah, we lost like our voting.
our voting virginity. No more. But this is awesome.
Yeah.
So
I haven't voted yet. I'm going in person
Yeah, well, today was the first day of Palm Beach County
in
early voting. Yeah, so I when I was coming to work, I saw like a whole bunch of people. It was a huge ass line.
Yeah.
I could not believe it. And I was like, oh my God, this is, I mean, it felt, like you said, so empowering.
It does.
I mean, Victoria, how do you feel?
I mean, I'm kind of excited to vote. I already did, but I don't know.
Okay, so Emily, you didn't do the mail vote, did you?
No, because it's my first time. I kind of want to
But Victoria, how did you do it? Is this your first time though?
Yeah, I did through mail.
But she did it through mail. So, are you looking through the computer, making sure that your vote's being counted?
It is though, yeah, for sure.
Well, there's a lot of controversy going out there. You know that. Our president, of course, is talking about that. Oh no, there's people who are supposed to be voting or not voting, and they've been deceased, and
Well, see, that's what I like about Biden. Like, especially during the first debate, he definitely encouraged the people to go out and vote and to register. I feel like a lot of people that night registered, and it was very.
Yeah, but you heard about what they said, Jamie. Like in 2016, there were people in New York that comes from New York, and they come down from Florida. And they vote in New York, and they vote in Florida. So that means, I'm sorry, that counts as two votes.
I didn't even know about that. I didn't even know. Like, I thought you're registered the first time you vote. And I think that's like a system problem that they need to fix.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be an issue.
That's a big issue, and I believe that that's something that they have to do. I'm really, I have parents who call me, as I am an educator, and they would call me and they would ask me my opinion. And I give them both. I said, read the person's platform.
That's true.
I would say, go to their website and listen to what they have to talk about. Because, in politics and anywhere, they're always bashing each other. One says one thing, one says another. And then you got Fox News and you got CNN News.
Social media can be very biased.
Oh, absolutely. And so I would tell parents, read what they wrote. If one's saying bad things about another, it's because they don't want that person to win, of course. So, you need to look at the platforms and read about it. So
So you can
I'll go ahead. Yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
Go ahead.
You can track your vote once you mail in
Oh,
vote.
yeah.
I think that's a good thing because that's like a reassurance. Like you said, like there's a lot of controversy on like if my vote counted, did it get there? So I feel like tracking it.
But
It's like
does
a
it even
reassurance
count
to
though?
that.
Like you vote, but electoral college votes for you.
Correct, but you know it's sad because I know in our country, in other countries, like in Ecuador, it's mostly the popular votes.
Yeah.
We know that in Ecuador,
And that's how it should be here too.
right. But unfortunately,
The
unless
government is like rigging it, kind of.
yeah, but unless someone changes it, in Ecuador, my family. I'm married to an Ecuadorian, and my family from Ecuador. You have to vote. It is mandatory to vote. If you can't vote, you
No.
have like they charge you a certain amount of money that you can't leave the country.
The social
So
media.
if you don't vote, guess what happens? You can't leave the country, or you have to pay a fine. That's it. You have to pay a fine. So I don't know. I believe that should be here in the United States. It's a right to vote. Everybody should vote, no matter what. You're 18 years old, knowing what the situation is, knowing what's going on in the world. You have the right to speak out. You have the right to know about who you're going to put in office. You have the right. Look at all these young politicians now
Yeah.
that are going for, House
AOC.
Yeah, look, see how everything's going out there. I mean, you guys are the generation.
But I'm sorry to cut you off, but I definitely do think that this year, a lot of people our ages, even like JB, he's not old enough to vote yet, but he's already registered to vote. And a lot of like
Oh, you can
young
pre-register?
teens that
Yeah,
are
when you're
16, who, by the way, if you're 16, you can pre-register.
How do you do that? Wait, first of all, how do you do that? I didn't know you could.
You go on your
pre-register.
state website.
Yeah.
Same way you register to vote. It says register, pre-register. and
So what do
can
you
that.
go on the website? Which website? Tell us. Tell our viewers, because we have 16 years old here.
I know it's like vote.org. You can go on there as well. And honestly, if you just look up vote.org, it should pop up.
And usually in high school, people come to pre-register you to vote, especially if you're like entering college. They do that too.
So can you be 15 to pre-register, or you have to be 16?
Has to be 16.
16. So you did that. You did the pre-register, James. So tell us. I mean, come on.
Well, I think it's the same. It's the same way as if you were registering your vote, but it's just telling me that I don't have to go through that once I turn 18. Once I turn 18, it automatically switches to a voter.
Do they send you a card,
Right, yes.
or
I don't have to go back to it. So they just send it to me when I turn 18.
so they send it in mail to you? Wow.
Yeah, this year
That's so
definitely
cool.
a lot of young kids our age are getting involved into politics, which is really good. Because like before, a lot of them didn't care, thought it wouldn't affect them.
Yeah.
But definitely whatever we pick and whatever decisions we make and vote will definitely affect our future.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of, what are we, millennials?
Yeah,
They're realizing like, oh, we need to vote. This is our future. This is,
Our kids' future.
Mm-hmm. So it's definitely going to be a very powerful election. I think more than like Hillary and Trump. Like this one's going to be,
Well, I think it's the topics. I think it's everything
Definitely.
that's, like, I know some of you, I don't know if you marched or anything, the Black Lives Matter through this pandemic. I know,
I wasn't able to because I had COVID, but I wanted to.
yeah, and, having COVID, that's, with everything going on, I mean, I admire those people who march, regardless with the pandemic going on. I mean, being a mother and being Hispanic, there was no way in hell I was going to have my kids march. I am so sorry. I believe in Black Lives Matter and everything, but the COVID was right there. And
But I do think like even sharing stuff on social media
Yeah.
and making that your priority and sharing the word, because when people watch your stuff, they're like, oh, I didn't know about this, and now they see that. So yes, if you didn't go out to march, don't feel bad. You sharing and reposting actually does make a big difference and informs people your ages that don't know anything, So
Jamie, in high school, how was it going with the Black Lives Matter? I mean, with the topics that's going on and for, the politicians.
They never talked about it. They never mentioned it. At my high school, at least at my high school, nothing.
They didn't mention nothing in your high school, even though you guys do virtual? Not even your social studies teacher?
Nope.
Wow.
No,
See,
but
No.
in our classes, they talked a lot about like diversity
Well, this is Victoria, so now she's in college, so go ahead.
and how like they're going to implement it more in like the workforce and I guess in your daily life, because not a lot of people are hired because of their race or of their origin or anything like that.
A lot of companies do that.
Yeah.
A lot of companies, like if you go into their website, it's like, I remember like the Amazon TVs, if you turn it on, it says right there like it's a black screen first, and it says that we value our black employees here at Amazon, and then you start watching TV. But a lot of companies do that before you enter like their official website.
That's good.
But I mean, so many movements happened this year, which is good. Like that needed to happen. You know, it should have happened a long time ago, but for some reason, it had to happen this year, and everything is happening this year.
But I think it has happened.
Definitely.
It has happened, but the problem is that people get bored of it because it's not a trend anymore. Like right now, a lot of people don't talk about it anymore.
But things, it shouldn't be a trend. It should be like known.
Every conversation. I mean, I'm surprised as an educator. We talk about it with our kids from 3rd through 8th grade. You're in high school. You're telling me how many high schools really are not talking about it. That's the deal. And parents, if you're listening, you need to ask your kids how many.
It's very sad because they're making this is like humans' lives, and they're turning it into politics. And Black Lives Matter should not be a politics movement. It's not. It has nothing to do with politics. It has to do with somebody's life, somebody's child's life, somebody's husband, somebody's brother. So it's very sad that schools are not talking about it because they don't want the teachers to get in trouble. And it's very sad if there is principals that are telling their teachers, like, you can't talk about this because our parents are going to get upset. But you have black students, and they need to feel, valued, included, and that their lives matter. So it has nothing to do with Trump or Biden, nothing. This is a movement about lives and nothing to do with politics. So it's very sad that schools are closing that door.
But I mean, like, look at our president. He hasn't addressed anything. So when students or other people look at this, it's like, why do they need to care as well?
Yeah, and that's just, that's the sad part about it, when you don't have these type of conversations, and when you don't have these type of conversations in high school, because it's those high school kids are going to be our future. You college students are going to be our future. I mean, this is what, I believe Black Lives Matter should have happened a long time ago, like you guys said. You got a lot of famous movie stars. I'm sorry, you got a lot. Where were you? Where have you been? Why don't you speak up? They got the money. You got the platform. You're
But that's
idol.
the thing, though. There's people above them with so much power that have lowered them and shut them out.
But how? That's why I don't
because
understand.
Of their color or threaten them.
How? You got NBA players like LeBron James talked about. You got NBA players that are talking, Dwayne Wade. I mean, you got all these famous people, and all this happened from the police brutality, things that happened, and then all of a sudden, all these famous people started talking about it. This should have been done a long time ago. And what happened is, when you get so many people, famous people with money, I hate to say it, and they can make that movement, but they don't. And they just do it when something really bad happens.
Which is sad. It's kind of like a lot of people jump on as a trend or for the publicity, which, that, like, using George Floyd, for example, should not be something for publicity or to make you look good or because your publicist told you. It's very
especially
sad.
on social media. Like, the amount of stuff that people post just to, like, feel like, oh, this is a trend, you're included. Like, they don't understand.
Well, it's just really sad, but I'm glad that you guys are out here, and I'm glad, Jamie. So how do you feel when your social studies teachers or your teachers in high school don't talk to you? I know because you're virtual, but before then, did you guys talk about it in high school with among each other?
I think the only thing was like, slavery back then, and then like I think it stops at Martin Luther King, and that's where it got resolved, and racism might be shown as if like illegal or like systematic oppression of like a group of minorities is illegal, but that doesn't make it like as if nobody else does it. In a state, weed could be illegal, but people still smoke it. Right. They're going against the law. So even if on our papers in the Constitution it might say, oh yeah, oppression of these minorities like blacks, Hispanics is illegal, people still do it.
Right.
But there's no punishment over it. There's nothing being done about it, even of our own president. you know, doing those same supposable like illegal things. And our country, our papers, like the Constitution, and all of that usually says on how nobody's above the law. But I think we're missing a lot of that because.
So I think there's got to be a change more in high school. I mean, if you here's you in high school and you're in one of the biggest high schools in Palm Beach County, and with a lot of high school kids, you know, not to say we don't want to say what high school you go attend to, but it doesn't show that among you guys are not talking about, you know, it's like you're saying they stop at Martin Luther King and that's it. And
Well, yeah, they
But
don't.
it's not that like kids are not interested because they definitely
Yeah.
are,
Uh-huh.
but it's just not being.
But I think it
involved in the
also
curriculum.
starts at school, because
It
a lot of
does.
parents, you know, like a lot of kids are suffering with parents that value different things,
Yes.
different ideals, and then they attack the kids. So I feel like it starts with school, you know, something, but the school can't just teach.
Definitely, it's definitely
Everything.
your household, your parents.
But I feel like lately a lot of like college students and high school students have become more woke and are trying to like encourage their parents to think differently, you know?
Yes.
And they need to do that because I'm sorry, but y'all boomers out there
Oh,
need to change their mentality of thinking.
true.
Like, we're in
this
2020,
isn't-
wake up.
This is the 19.
well,
Wake the
it's-
fuck up, yeah.
I'm sorry, but you know, remember I'm the oldest one out here, so it's a little different. We had a different mentality.
But that's the thing, you guys. The way we, our whole lives, have adjusted to what our parents think,
Mm-hmm.
you guys should adjust and at least hear us out. You know, if you're a parent who's way out of the age range, like if you're 60 and you have a 20-year-old, you need to adjust and get on that level and inform yourself and not just go by what you learned in the 70s and the 60s. That time passed. We're in a new time, new decades, new era.
Yeah.
I don't even know. But definitely inform yourself as a parent and as a child and get on that level because information is key. Education is key. If you don't know, then, you know.
Especially like grandparents, like that's the hardest thing to get through them.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
But there's some good grandpas and grandmas out there who are fighting for Black Lives Matter. It really is a person, how they were raised.
Yeah, exactly.
It's hard to get through them.
it's how
Very hard.
they're raised.
How
and
they were
that's the key.
raised, what they were
That's
taught.
how they're raised. You know, I, especially when you have, it's just, I'm sorry, it's just not all Black Lives Matter. It's, you know, it's also Hispanics. It's also everything. It's all of it.
That's the thing, though. Black Lives Matter is the thing. It's Black Lives Matter, and then we have Hispanic Lives Matter.
It's not saying that Hispanic
Yeah.
lives don't matter.
Yeah, that's that.
It's just saying that right now
Mm-hmm.
we have to start. If we can't fix the oppression with Black people, we can't fix the oppression with Hispanic people.
Like the people who think.
I mean,
oh,
who's being shot right now? A white person or a black person?
Or Hispanic person.
I mean, yeah. But right now, black people matter most.
But a lot of Hispanics can go for white, can
Exactly.
pass as white. You know, somebody can be walking past the street and they might not judge this person because they don't look Hispanic. They look white, but they might be Hispanic.
But see, some people might not understand that concept. Do you understand? Some people might not understand, okay, Black Lives Matter. Right now we're talking about who's getting shot mostly.
Mm-hmm.
And some people don't understand that part.
That's when privilege comes in, and it's the privileged people that don't understand that. If you can't be open-minded to Black Lives Matter, Hispanic Lives Matter, Asian Lives Matter, there's so many under the categories of minorities, then you can't automatically be like, well, my lives matter. No.
So
you
would
need to see your privilege.
Okay, so let me ask you guys, what would you guys call it besides the Black Lives Matter? Would it be all minorities?
All lives won't matter until Black Lives Matter. You can't say all lives matter until Black Lives Matter, Hispanic Lives Matter, Native American Lives Matter.
Yeah.
That's the concept here. So when people jump in and are like, well, what about... No, the issue right now is Black people getting killed because of the color of their skin.
So you think if everybody focuses on that, Black Lives Matter, do you believe that every other life will matter?
If they can't acknowledge that Black people are getting murdered for the silliest, the dumbest reasons ever, just because of the color of their skin, what makes you think they're gonna fix Hispanic Lives Matter, Native Matter?
I think it also goes as in like Black Lives Matter is also educating people about police brutality.
Exactly.
If they can't accept Black Lives Matter, as in like police brutality against Black lives, then they won't accept police brutality at all.
Exactly.
Because if they can't understand the concept of that Black Lives Matter doesn't mean that only their lives matter, then like you know.
And that's what like Biden wants to do. He doesn't want to defund the police, but he wants to make sure that they are held accountable for their actions.
Yeah, that's also the major thing there too. Accountability.
Well, yeah, Trump agrees with qualified immunity, which is something that's given to police officers.
And after what happened with Breonna Taylor and Pence said that the justice system, he believes what they did was right,
He trusts the justice system.
He trusts it. Like, come on. The facts are right there.
But Joe Biden believes
It's, like, screwed up. Why wouldn't it be?
It needs evaluation.
Yeah.
Because the Breonna Taylor case, I mean, it's controversial right now. A lot of people are, like, debating a life, you know, of a human person, of a human being. But I think that case isn't being looked into. It's not. Same thing that happened with George Floyd. A lot of people that died because of something they're not.
Yeah.
Well, you got it, guys. You know, that's why and right now it's pre-voting, you know. It's early voting. Get out there and vote.
That's the thing, though. You know, our system does need change, but if you don't think the way you think, like, if you don't change the way you think, it's, you know, we see that daily with people who are not politicians, who treat people like complete crap because of what they believe in.
It's not about, like, if you like Trump or if you like Biden. It's not about right. It's about human rights. You know, you can tell Trump isn't, you know, supporting that. Because if he can't support, you know, the minorities or stuff like that, then he doesn't support, you know, or LGBT rights. He's not supporting human rights for all.
Or they, like, when they talk about when the Black Lives Matter movement was brought up in the debate and they just start talking about the riots, just automatically shows what are you looking into. You know, that's what's the bigger picture here. You know, the riots is a whole different conversation that I'm not going to get into, but if that's the only thing you're seeing other than the issue and the problem, then it says a lot about who you are and what you're standing for, in my opinion, which is very sad.
Well, I appreciate you guys, you know. I really, you know, this is just like everybody, hopefully you have an eye-opening. You know, I want go out there, please. It's early voting right now in Palm Beach County. Please vote. I mean, your vote counts. It is big, and, you know, you need to change it. And definitely, you can reach us out at ooyye@gmail.com. Our YouTube channel, it's OOYE, OOYE. Instagram is OOYE. We do TikTok OOYE. Peace out. This is Renata. Thanking you all. Guys, go ahead.
All right. Bye. Peace out. Go vote.
Bye, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.